Yeah, yeah,
Yo,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yo.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice,
Welcome
nice.
in, welcome in. Also, you see the sign there. Shout out to Callan. We'll
Our
touch on
guy.
that here briefly. Thank you guys for joining us on a Friday. Getting ready to head into another nice sports weekend, mostly football, but we do have a bizarre fall Masters, a
Yes, we
tradition,
do.
literally like
Really like
no
no
other.
other. Yes, yes, yes.
Never see anything like it.
No.
Hit up the link on the in the comment section. I put that it's on Twitter. I don't know if it went on the Facebook stream. I might post it again, but also on YouTube. Call in at the link and chop it up with us.
Yep.
We'll be here with you guys as long as we can, right up until 8:30. But again, thank you for joining. Actually, I do want to mention just right off the bat because it snuck up on me. I think we just sort of mentioned it. Monday will be our 100th episode.
True.
I don't know what all to put together just quite yet. I'll throw in some, little nuggets in there for you guys. But thank you for taking us this far.
Yes.
And to that note, also just a special thanks to Callan for all his help with our program and, being the other sports show on the network. But sad to see him go, but glad that he's getting back to doing what he knows how to do best.
Definitely.
Rocking the ones and twos out there on the PA. But there was a time when I was briefly on the roster over there. So
That's right. That's right.
if the powers that be wanna make it right, well, I do have another day job, but they do like me to go to that job. They hate that
Sure.
I don't.
Right.
But I'm just putting my hat in the ring. But Tyler, how you doing this evening?
Yeah, doing good, man. Just also, got to give a massive shout out to Callan again. He announced that on the show today, going back to work. So his show will be ending in, I think he said 2 weeks. Is he doing 2 more weeks or 1 more week?
I think he said the 28th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so he's got 2 more weeks of shows.
Yeah.
So you can definitely check him out. I mean, that dude's been, not for his show and for us here, but I mean, he's got all kinds of projects going on. That dude's doing all kind of work. So massive shout out to him. Glad he's going back to doing what he wants to do, doing what he loves, calling sports. So massive shout out to Callan. Other than that, man, doing good. Looking forward to a nice weekend full of football, full of probably highlights of the Masters because they tee off way early.
I'm gonna try to watch. Yeah, for the Masters, obviously I've been working the last 2 days, so haven't really got to see too much of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will try to get in there and watch it. What I have seen is kind of interesting, and we'll touch on this more. But no fans, obviously, so it's kind of odd. But
Ronnie, how you doing today?
Doing well. Got out of the bank at a respectable time. I have to go back there at a not respectable time in the morning.
Man.
Service all the ATMs, which is always just such a joy.
Oh yeah, tons of fun.
Can't really beat it. But after that, I will be rushing back home to watch as much of the Masters, college football, what little is left after the COVID came in and decimated college football this week.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be a weird red zone weekend, too. We'll touch on that in the NFL segment.
Mm-hmm.
But happy to be here with you guys. Thank you again for tuning in. Hit us up in the comments. Give us a call at the link. It's free. No app required, as you can see. No download, anything like that.
Right.
And we would love to talk to you guys. So let's dive right into it. Actually, just a couple little things off the top because, it's not really enough to flesh out an entire story for some of these. But first of all, Scotland. Shout out to Scotland. Back in the Euros, first major tournament qualification in 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a nice. I mean, Scotland. Soccer is one of their number one sports there, but it's very small population wise, so they don't have a huge talent pool to draw on.
Right.
And big deal for them. And anyone that has not had the pleasure of seeing the Tartan Army in person, for better or worse, sometimes worse, mostly better.
But yeah.
But they rock it big time when they have these international games. So I am excited to see that. And, of course, in a group with England. So maybe for the best that fans are not probably allowed to attend this.
What are you talking about, Ronnie? They're always so respectful and peaceful towards each other.
Yeah, they get along great.
Just a just a nice storied history of friendship between those two countries.
Never an ill word said about the other one ever. But
Never.
shout out to Scotland just for getting in there. It's always exciting. You know, the excitement we had in the last Euros with Iceland getting in there, making a run. Always cool to see these smaller teams kind of hit on. Well, I don't know if this would necessarily be like a golden generation for Scotland, but just get a team in there. It's a big deal for them. I know fans in the North American continent. I mean, Mexico's always going to get in. USA didn't get in last time, but usually will get in. The qualification over in Europe is a lot harder to get into these things, so that is a big deal. So shout out to them.
Yep.
Couple comments real quick. Jaime giving a big love to our Scottish audience out there, which
Here we go.
Massive. I mean, we're huge in
Oh, yeah.
Scotland.
We're huge there.
Hit us at the link, Scotland. Call in. We want to talk to you. If I can understand what you're saying, I will do my best.
And it's also like 2, almost 3 in the morning there. So, yeah.
Yeah, they stay up.
That's true. That's
circles
true.
the wagons in Scotland, like the Quarantine Kings program.
This is true.
And also from Jaime, we will get into this shortly. The Maction, which was breathtaking Wednesday night, right after we got off the air. We're going to dive into that quickly. One of the most incredible sequences. Just go back and watch the last 4 minutes of the game.
Oh, yeah. It's nuts.
And
it's nuts.
So much stuff you've never seen before. Shout out to John Boy also. Always great for a breakdown. I think he was breaking down a foosball championship.
I watched that one too. That was pretty exciting. Yes.
He always dives in on the breakdowns, but he did a nice breakdown of this one, which we will touch on. And also Abraham checking in. What's up, Soto? The Marlins' new manager, I think, general manager,
yes, Kim Ng, yes, who is the she's the former assistant general manager here with the Dodgers, actually, but she is now the general manager of the Miami Marlins, becoming the first female general manager in, I believe, professional American sports.
I think that is correct. Yeah, so big ups to her. And the Marlins, I mean, they seem like a team going in the right direction. Everyone's making fun of Jeter, but he's kind of been sort of up front. I mean, that very first year where it was like, why are you getting rid of everyone? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
But, they're doing the Astros thing, the Padres thing. Like, let's build it up from the bottom, get guys that we have under team control, and then gives you a little more flexibility to actually go splash the cash on like 1 or 2 guys that might put you over the top. So bright future ahead for them. Still a very weird stadium that not enough people go to when people are allowed to go.
Right.
But a promising team for sure. So shout out to them.
This is true. Yes.
You're welcome, Abraham. Hit us at the link.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Yes.
If you're scared, say you're scared. But, the link is right there. You just put it in your phone. Boom. You're on that air with us.
That's right.
So circling back to Jaime's first comment, let's take a look at the Maction, which was, as I said, incredible on Wednesday. I was texting Tyler. I got back in the house. And first of all, it's just a joy to have any Maction on.
True.
It looked like Toledo was just going to put it to bed. And I still was going to watch it to the end anyway. It's the only game on of note at that point.
Right.
And then everything just got completely insane. Toledo goes for it on 4th down, gets the 4th down, gets the touchdown, and Western Michigan goes right back down the field, which if you look at the John Boy breakdown, number 0. Woo.
They just
number
picked
0.
On him. They just picked on him.
A one to forget because they were just completely throwing to him. And
Rough
then
night.
When we get to the kicking part, he's involved in that too. But they go down the field, score, and then they miss the extra point.
Just shanked it hard.
You're still going to have to get the onside kick either way, but now you got to score a touchdown. So they go for the onside kick, just one of those rollers up the middle.
Just a straightforward roller off the tee.
Clear the 10 yards, and then just hopefully it gets through a guy, which it did. Guy had it in his grasp, got away from him.
The kicker knocked it loose.
Yeah, kicker comes in, just basically like tap and run, and just goes at the guy, knocks it loose. And I think it was the punter actually that dived on it.
Might have been. I can't
And
remember.
I think I saw that somewhere. I'm not sure. Well, we don't have talent anymore, stats and research department, but we will power through. But they recover. They go right back down the field again, get a first down in the middle of the field. Um, Definitely a situation in which you would clock it, which, of course, Toledo assumed they would too, because just leave a wide receiver completely unchecked at all. Like, don't even put anyone in front of him.
We're talking like 20 yards from the nearest player to him. Like, he was so wide open.
And the best part is I always love a fake spike. So
Sure.
they run a fake spike, but as John Boy pointed out, the fake spike was on. Obviously, they had that, we're going to go like we're going to clock it. They're going to think we're going to clock it, and we're just going to run a fake spike. But they didn't even have to do that at that point. They could have just like quick snapped it and just thrown it to a guy standing by himself.
Right.
And he's just standing in the end zone after they fake spike it. And that it was awesome.
Yeah, that was nuts. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it live. I was kind of doing some other things, and Ronnie was blowing up my phone. I saw it kind of after the fact, and just right away looked it up. And I was like, "Oh my! Like how did this even happen?" It's just I'm mad at myself for not seeing it live. That was just an absolutely incredible finish to that game.
And I texted Tyler. I was like, all right, first of all, anytime a fake spike is involved and it works, I'm in. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
But this is even more exceptional because you got to go back and see how they even got to the fake spike. Because probably if they don't miss that extra point, they're just going down there, kicking a field goal, going for overtime. But the whole sequence of events building up to that, even Toledo going for it on fourth down, getting it, and then getting the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, like, it was just a bizarre chain of events. And then fake spike, touchdown, just from out of nowhere. And my favorite part, this is actually, I saw this in the comment section of the John Boy recap, was this degenerate who is always welcome on this program. I may have to reach out to you. Maybe we will DM you on Twitter.
If you're watching, call in right now.
We want to hear from you because this guy, first of all, a 3-leg parlay on all directional Michigan schools. Incredible. The level of depravity there. Nah. But then he's like, I already went to bed. And then this hit. So he bet 50, got 300 on this. Western Michigan ends up winning the game. They had a pick at the end just to put it away. But, man, what a game. The Maction. The Maction. I love the Maction.
It delivers on a night when there's just nothing else going on. So it just, it has your attention if you're looking for sports.
Which I am. We are.
The beauty, and we've said it before, the beauty of the Maction is you don't know what you're gonna get. You could get an absolute like 10-7 just crap fest, or you could get a 62-56 track meet. Like, you just never know what you're gonna get with the Maction. So like that's one of the things that makes you tune in. Is like I could see the craziest game in either direction of the spectrum tonight on any given night. Any given weeknight for the Action.
And that's the thing, Tyler, you said it best a couple shows ago. Bad football is even better than boring football. And the bad is it's never boring. It is bad, and sometimes, like we saw on Wednesday, great. Like an all-time, like you will probably never see that again. That sequence, I guarantee you will not see that again.
Oh, for sure.
It's always exciting. There's always referees getting run over, the power going out, my guy from Buffalo, for no reason at all, taking one step out of the end zone, putting the ball clearly over the line. They let them keep the ball, but Buffalo ended up winning that game also by like 30 points.
Yeah, they smashed it. Yeah.
It's just high wire act all the time. Bad or good, it's good. I'm loving them Action right now, and loving their TV arrangement with ESPN.
Absolutely.
Because it's filling in that midweek drought that otherwise we would have.
It's a really interesting strategy that I'm kind of surprised we don't see more big time players go for, or kind of like, maybe better players, because it's like, that I think that's kind of like the whole point of them being on the weekdays. You can use it as a recruiting tool. Like, yeah, you could go to Alabama, you'll be on national TV on Sunday. You probably won't play. You'll be like fifth string because there's all these guys.
Right.
Or you could come, guaranteed you'll be playing on a game when there's no other sports going on. People will be watching you.
Come get weird with us at Bowling Green.
Yes, exactly.
Just sign the paper, son.
That's it. Like, it's a great recruiting tool. I kind of I hope to see it. I over the years, I've hoped it would, maybe get better talent there, but still, just always enjoyable on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Just watching
now more than ever.
Football.
I mean, now more than ever that we had this weird overlap of the hockey and basketball seasons stopping and then resuming. So now they're on in the case of the NBA, not indefinite, but different layoff. I mean, they would already be going again right now. And then hockey, we still kind of don't know. But, man, right now, action is it warms my heart to see that on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, just having that Division I football. It's Division I football. You got to tell yourself that sometimes when you're watching it, because you're like, this is kind of like maybe Jack Frost football sometimes. But
sometimes, yeah.
It's incredible. So highly recommend them at. Let's and also shout out to this guy again. I'm gonna have to reach out to this guy directly because
just the all-directional Michigan parlay. That is like, although look, I would have more confidence betting on either of them than Michigan or Michigan State at this point in time. So you know what? Maybe this guy's a little bit smarter than maybe we're giving him credit for.
Yeah, and shout out to Eastern Michigan covering that plus 8.5.
Yeah, here we go. Well, speaking of college football, I guess kind of the big story right now is there's a lot of games that have been either postponed or canceled this weekend. I believe the count that I saw kind of before we jumped on air was we have 15 games either postponed or canceled due to COVID issues. We've still got a few games on the line that are, maybe going to be worth watching this weekend. Kind of one of the weird things that developed just today was that both the Cal, Arizona State, and the UCLA-Utah game were both canceled due to COVID issues with Arizona State and Utah. So now they just said, well, screw it. Cal and UCLA, you guys are playing on Sunday. That's just insane to me.
Well, and the battle of the traditional two UCs. I mean, the two lesser UCs after Riverside shout out.
Nice.
But no one's perfect. As you know, we have not lost a football game since, I believe, 1965.
It's true. It's true.
But whatever.
Rank them, you cowards.
Rank us. I guarantee we will not lose. But at least the Pac-12 did have the flexibility in there to, look, you guys are going to play at some point. You're playing now. So they threw that together, got that going. And the SEC now having their first big run-in with the COVID. Of course, one of the big landmark games of the year, LSU. The shine's off of it a little bit because they're obviously sort of not rebuilding.
Good. Yeah.
But given the history there, that would be still a marquee game. And that's not going to be played. I think the SEC is down to like 4 games out of 7 or maybe 3 out of 7 that they're going to play this weekend.
Something like that, yeah.
And I think the Ohio State game also postponed as well.
Yes, Maryland had some issues with that, so the Ohio game has been postponed. Or actually, I think it's outright canceled because Big Ten doesn't have any room for makeup games in their schedule.
And that could have some. I mean, down the road, if Ohio State was still angling for that playoff game or getting into the playoff, who knows how that shakes out now?
Right.
And then who knows how the whole Big Ten schedule shakes out now. We still kind of I haven't heard the latest on Wisconsin, but that was the first big one to sort of shake everything up. And we'll see what happens. But this is just going to continue to be a problem in college football, especially because there's so many cooks in the kitchen as far as every conference has their own rules. Like one conference, oh, you're out for 2 weeks. One conference is, oh, you're out for 3.5 weeks. Like, okay, this is all going to have to come together at some point. I still think they will find a way, basically force a way to have the college football playoff happen. But it's so tough to see what that's going to look like right now because where are you going to make the games up? Like, you're going to leave games out there unplayed? Or are you going to have a team that's, I don't know, 8-0 just in the playoff? Like, they didn't really play that many games. It's just going to be so weird.
Yeah, and I mean, like I was saying, some of the conferences that are starting late, the Big Ten, the Pac-12, I'll even say the MAC for argument's sake, or not MAC, Mountain West, excuse me, for argument's sake.
Keep hope alive, Mac.
Whew, I hope so. God, oh man, if a MAC team makes the playoffs, can they play that game on like a Tuesday night? Like that would be amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, so some of those conferences started late. Like they didn't leave any room for makeup games. It's just like, hey, we're gonna play 6 games or 8 games, whatever, all in a row, and whatever happens. So, yeah, it's just it's absolutely weird season, and all we can do is just kind of sit back and watch. Like, okay, well, what's gonna happen with the playoffs? Because I don't even think they know. They're just kind of hoping that stuff works out. So, yeah,
that seems to be pretty much the MO of the entire college football plan. That's just we're gonna play, but we'll just fly by the seat of our pants here. So once it goes sideways with COVID, now we're probably getting some of the roll in of these different campuses having problems with COVID. Probably sort of falls right in that time frame of Halloween parties, whatever, people getting together. And now we're dealing with that first big hit of like, okay, now we got to move games, cancel games, figure out where we can maybe make these games up. It's going to get a lot weirder before it becomes more clear. And then also going over to the comments, Brad, your words are hurtful, okay? UCLA number 1, Cal number 2.
I like number 4.
UC Bakersfield. First of all, that's a Cal State.
Okay? It's a CSU, yeah.
How dare you? UC Chico. UC Riverside. It's still my heart, all right? Represent. We're probably good at something. I don't know.
Like you said, you guys haven't lost in like 60 years. So,
hey,
you got that going for you.
Itself, Brad. I mean, we're sitting in the clubhouse just waiting for someone to entice us.
Waiting for a challenger.
Alabama hasn't put up enough money yet for us to risk our undefeated record. So,
well, I guess we can trade. Oh, go ahead, Ronnie. Sorry.
No, I was just going to kind of swerve over to a nice, weird, but nice to have a major sporting event distraction at this time of the year, which is the Masters, a tradition unlike any other. Yes. Friday's round was not totally completed. It did get a little postponed there at the end because of daylight, but you got a 4-way tie there. Shout out to the answer, the Mexican, first place right now by himself. Well, I mean, in a tie, but in a clubhouse, tied for first. DJ there, JT, and Rombo hanging around, -8. Yesterday was really weird because guys were just scoring like crazy.
How dare you not give respect to Cameron Smith, sir? How dare you?
Well, show me something, Cameron Smith.
He's in a tie for first. What are you talking about?
I'll believe it when I see it. But a weird first day. I mean, the whole thing's weird because there's no fans there, and it normally would be in April.
Right.
But they were blowing the greens apart yesterday. Everything was sticking on the green. Just a perfect combination of weather because a little bit of rain, but right before that it was pretty hot. So everything was sticking on the green. This is sort of my in-depth as I go on golf knowledge. I just heard this on XM listening to the first round. Apparently the root structure on the green is just not totally like set in because of the combination of weather factors. And guys were able to just throw darts into the green. Putting is always probably the biggest thing at the Masters anyway, because they have the crazy greens there's multiple hills on every green. So it's kind of like how, like we were talking about earlier in the year, the Memorial, and Jack Nicklaus sets up a lot of his courses this way, where sometimes you're on the green, but you're really not on the green. Like, let's just be real. Like, you're putting you might as well just be putting from like miles away.
Yeah, exactly.
So guys were able to just attack the course yesterday. Scoring definitely tightened up a little bit today. And then over the weekend, I'm sure it's going to go down quite a bit as well. But I want to see more of this. I haven't had a chance to really see anything but highlights being at work these first 2 days.
Same.
One thing I do want to throw out there is shout out to the big homie, Bernard Langer, 63 years old, making the cut. Look at
Yeah.
that. The OG. And this was just an interesting factoid I also saw on Twitter. How incredible is Bernard Langer making the cut at the 2020 Masters? He has competed in a major against Gene Sarazen, born 1902, and Abel Gallegos, born 2002. So that's opponents literally born 100 years apart. And Sarazen played his last major at the 76 Open Championship, which was Langer's first major that he ever played in.
Jeez.
So turn back the clock. That's one of the bright spots of 2020 right there, seeing the Silver Fox make the cut, the Masters.
Absolutely, yeah. Got to give a massive shout out to the crafty veteran there. But that's right. But just kind of, I'm like you. I haven't got to watch a whole lot of it. Just a few highlights here and there. Seeing some guys that made the cut. Lefties. Lefty Phil Mickelson's in there at -5. He's hitting bombs. Tiger going to make the cut at -4. Rory McIlroy -3. But the Vegas favorite, he didn't get to complete his round today. He only completed 12 holes. But Bryson DeChambeau currently sitting outside of the cut right now at 1 over. Obviously, I'm imagining that all the people that didn't get to finish are going to tee off at like first daylight tomorrow, finish their holes, and then anybody that advances obviously just plays another round. But DeChambeau's got to make up at least one stroke here over the last few holes. So he had a rough day today. I could see a picture of a drive that he had that apparently nobody could find the ball. There were like 12 people like looking around the fairway trying to find the ball. Tough going for him, but we'll see if he can make up some ground tomorrow.
This is kind of the double-edged sword. I mean, for me, it's just kind of the Masters is always like one of the coolest TV presentations because the course is so like picturesque.
Right.
And, there's a lot of establishing shots, scenic views of just how like lush and cool it looks there. But there's no fans. So that's definitely weird for guys in this scenario in a major with no fans around.
Mm-hmm.
But Bryson's been a little scattershot for sure. And, the long cannon, the bombs aren't. Normally there would be a bunch of people there that could probably like go and spot the ball. Just hopefully not getting hit in the temple and dying. But there's more eyes on it. And he definitely had to re-tee at least once today, I think. Mm-hmm. And he's sort of dealing with it. So as far as the betting implications go, could be big if he does not make the cut, who was the odds-on favorite, as you see there going in. This was before they teed off yesterday.
Yeah, that was something I was thinking about earlier, and I did get a chance to look it up, but I wonder when was the last time a favorite of a major didn't make the cut. Like golf's been around so long, and there's 4 majors a year. It has to have happened at least once, I'm sure. But I was trying to think, like, man, when was the last time that would have happened?
It's probably definitely it's happened, but yeah, like Tyler said, I'm sure it's been a while since that happened. Even if you just kind of have first 2 rounds didn't really go that great, but probably still making the cut.
Right.
If you're that much of a favorite, that heavy of a favorite, no pun intended, maybe pun intended.
Yeah, a little intention there.
To the I know habit. To the Bryce God.
There we go.
The heavy favorite. Oh. Whoa. The thunder.
The unit.
God, just a tank. He's a load, he is. These are space-age materials, ladies and gentlemen. He just topped that off.
In awe of the size of the lad. Oh, wait.
The Baron coming in, stats and research. 1990, Greg Norman. Well, unfortunately, not surprised that it was Greg Norman.
Yeah, I was good. Yeah.
Given his
bit of a reputation there. Mm-hmm.
Treacherous history of underperforming in the big stage.
That's for sure.
But we will. I'm going to try to get as much of that as I can tomorrow after work. May have to make a quick stop in Encinitas. Mr. Moto Pizza, for my San Diego locals, they opened a Encinitas location. Anyone watching, $5 large pizzas. It's their grand opening event
Oh my
tomorrow,
gosh.
which is normally like a $22 pizza. So
Oh my god, that's insane.
hit them up if you're nearby.
I'm driving down there from Bakersfield right like as soon as we end. I'm camping out.
Go, man, go. Or I'll buy like 20 of them and I'll send you some.
I'll make the 4-hour drive to get a $5 pizza.
Worth it. Totally
Worth it.
All right, let's get into the football now.
Okay.
We talked about college football. May get a little bit back into that later on. But, of course, the NFL, for all my bettors out there, fantasy players, and just fans of your favorite team. Let's take a look at the Sunday slate. As Tyler said, a little lopsided this week because we got more afternoon games on the West Coast than morning games. So, red zone actually probably going to balance out very nicely for those of us on the West Coast because you're going to have multiple games to look into all day long. Houston and Cleveland. Cleveland, you got to say they need to be winning that game. They did have a corona outbreak themselves where the facility is now shut down. So kind of interesting to see how they would come out in that game. But, and we'll get into this, the Raiders do have that tiebreaker on them right now from beating them. So I assume nothing with my beloved Raiders, but I would hope that we could beat the Broncos at home and go into that rematch with the Chiefs at 6-3. So kind of a big game for Cleveland. Houston just really not looking good all year.
No.
We'll see what happens. I mean, they still got some good players, but just hopefully Deshaun Watson balls out for me in fantasy. Really could use that right now.
No.
But I don't know, Tyler, you got anything on that game that you're looking at? Or
really just see how Cleveland comes out. I mean, some games they've looked really good this year. They've won more than they've lost. So obviously, more times than not, they're looking good. But some of the games, man, they've looked bad. They've looked kind of like old Cleveland. So it's especially not there in a playoff race. I'm really interested to see if they can keep any sort of build some momentum, keep that going throughout the rest of the year. Because I know that there is the added playoff spot this year, but still, like it's not easy to make the playoffs, and it could fall apart so quickly if you're not on top of that.
Maybe this was part of the ploy now that it's on the table that if they don't, play all the scheduled games, they go to that 16-team playoff. And now they're just starting the disrupt teams.
Guarantee that playoff spot, baby.
Yes. Then you have the Washington football team at the Lions.
That's an important game. It's an important game.
It is. It is. Man, 2020. What a time.
Washington with their I believe they're a 3-6 record, a game and a half behind the Philadelphia Eagles for the lead in the NFC East. It's fun. I feel like we say it every week, but it's just because everybody in the division is so bad. Every game in the NFC East is kind of must watch.
All the pieces matter in the NFC East. Every game, it's life or death. Then we go to Jacksonville going into Lambeau Field. And this was just, I think everyone out there can agree what we think is going to happen here. But just to spice things up a little bit, one enterprising person, man or woman, I don't know, went big, $99,000 on the money line for the Packers to beat the Jags at minus 1,100. So that would only pay $9,000 if they win. I mean, look, obviously you've got the money to lay down a $98,000 bet.
Sure.
It's probably not going to lead you to financial ruin. And,
I would hope not.
Yeah, this, like I was telling Tyler, if we're looking at it from like a market standpoint, potentially a 10% return on investment. So someone that could bet $99,000 on a football game, they probably got some, investments, stocks going on. So 10%, that's solid. But the flip side is it could take all your money away if the Jags and Minshew Mania pull something out of their butt here.
It's not even Minshew for the Jags anymore, is it? Isn't it a backup quarterback starting now?
Oh, I think you're right.
But we call this kind of bet. We call it the anti-quarantine kings. We're all about that. Bet low with the crazy odds to get that big payoff. This guy's kind of
living.
There we go. That's it right there. But
win back all that guy's money.
But yeah, I mean that one bet alone is kind of the only thing that really has me, giving any interest in this in this particular game. I think everybody's, obviously the Vegas odds there say themselves. Everybody's expecting a Packers win there, so I don't think we're going to get. Don't really think we're getting anything too surprising out of there, but you never know. Any given Sunday, right?
Any given Sunday, and I mean, like I said, this guy's got basically $100,000 to put this crazy bet down. Even if he loses, he's not going to be destroyed. But let's just be realistic here. The Jags going to Lambeau Field in November, I think that's pretty easy money for him. It's just, it's more of like an investment strategy than a giant bet low to win big, like as we love to do. So I think he's going to be fine there. And another NFC marquee game. Eagles going in to the Meadowlands to play the Giants.
Boy. Oh, boy.
Again, implications all over the map here. Anything is possible. No one's eliminated out there in the NFC East. So definitely looking forward to seeing. I'm not going to watch this directly, but Red Zone, I got my eye on you. And my Giants. I mean, I'm just going to say my Giants. I'm not bashing the Eagles.
Ronnie's a Giants fan. You just heard it.
Well, I'm a Danny Dimes fan, okay? I like the
Ronnie's
name
a Giants
Danny Dimes.
fan. You heard it. Ronnie loves the Giants. Always has.
100%. Ride or die. No. But they did get my first half cover, so I got a little soft spot for the Giants. I still don't see them winning this game, but it's the NFC East. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, yeah. Philly's only got 4 wins. The Giants have 2, so they're. I mean, a win for the Giants, man, it'll just flip the division right on its head. So
it's going to be a scramble.
Oh man, it is. It's bad. It's so bad. So bad, but I can't take my eyes off of it. The last morning game there, we got Tampa Bay going into Carolina. Tampa Bay is going to want to come back strong after getting absolutely destroyed by the Saints. Carolina, you know what? Carolina has. I know they're only like 3-6. They really haven't looked that bad this year. They've kind of been in a lot of games. Teddy B's doing pretty good out there at quarterback for him. So that could be an interesting game. I could potentially maybe see an upset in that one if Tampa Bay doesn't pull out the exact opposite of what they did this last week.
Yeah, Tampa Bay's got to come back, especially losing that last week game in the division as well. So they really probably want to make a statement here with this, but Carolina. I mean, they didn't have McCaffrey for a lot of these games, and they
may not have him this weekend either.
Yeah, and we still don't know about that for this weekend. But they are a game team. I mean, their defense is pretty good. So, and it, unfortunately, but as you mentioned, Teddy B, I feel like a lot of most of the Panthers games, it ends up with they have the ball, they're down, and then they always put up the stat like Bridgewater has had this many game-winning drives in the fourth quarter, and then just coming up just short. But they're in these games, so that could be a good game. And we'll see, Tampa Bay, if they're really about it, trying to be a legit contender. Definitely want to come back with a nice showing there. So interesting to watch that one. And, of course, my Raiders. I don't know how I feel about this because I would love to play the Chiefs again at 6-3. The Broncos are a team they should be beating at home. But this is just such a Raiders. You think they got it locked up going in, and then they just totally crap the bed. So this one does make me a little bit more nervous than I want to admit, but there it is.
So let me give John Gruden some advice because I know he watches us, never misses a show. Don't go to a prevent defense.
Please.
Drew Lock is awful against everything except a prevent defense.
He's the king. King against the prevent defense.
Just run any other kind of defense you want. Run a 4-3, run a Tampa 2, run that Cougar defense. Whatever you want to run, man. Just don't do a prevent. That's the only way Drew Lock has any success. I maybe feel more confident for your Raiders than you do, but you're also a battered Raiders fan, just like I am a battered Chargers fan.
Yes.
So I definitely understand your hesitance on going for your team in that one.
This game seems like so much of a they will win that I'm not confident that they will win. Like
I completely understand it.
They should win. They should be 6-3. I'm sure the Chiefs will still kick the crap out of them in the rematch the following week. but it's a lot better to be 6-4 after that than be sitting at 500 after that. So,
True.
they'd be one game above 500, I guess. But
Yeah.
come on, Raiders, please, just take care of business, do what you're supposed to do for once ever, and just win this game. And don't give me, any anxiety here. Sweating it out as Drew Lock is just slinging dimes all over the field, coming back on you, or God forbid, in the lead. I didn't want to explore the possibility of that. Raiders, take care of business. And on the subject of battered fans, Tyler, we take a look now at the Chargers at Miami game.
Yeah, you gotta love the exciting matchup of the two rookie quarterbacks with two. How do you say his last name again? I can't remember how do we pronounce his last name.
It's so complicated. I'm gonna have to defer to our linguistic expert, Mr. Rick Ross.
Okay.
Tua Tagovailoa, QB.
Tagovailoa.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate that. But yeah, so you got Tua versus Justin Herbert. Going to be an exciting matchup. Miami, again, they've looked good all year. Even the games they've lost, they've been in it. The Chargers have looked good for most of their games. I don't really know how to put that.
And then lost most of their games. So,
right.
Yeah.
They've looked good throughout portions of all of their games and then found ways to lose them. Going to be tough, always tough having the West Coast team go to the East Coast, but at least they're playing a later game instead of having to play the early round. So, right now I'm just kind of trying to think, how are the Chargers going to lose this one? I don't know if we're going to look like, if we're looking like a natural disaster at it's some sort of, I don't know. Like I'm really trying to think, like, okay, how are they going to do it this week? It's not if, it's how.
It's just how. Yeah. Can we get like prop bets on how the Chargers would lose? And then
I kind of want to look into that.
I'll take like the 5,000 to 1. Guy catches a game-winning touchdown, immediately struck by lightning, drops the ball.
Right. Or he catches the ball and then just spontaneously combusts.
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
If anybody's going to do it, it'll be the Chargers. I can tell you that.
That's true. So that's for all my prop bettors out there. See if you can get that action somewhere. May not be, on the strip, but there's a book out there somewhere, I'm sure.
But always remember, any prop bets or any real bets we put on here are, of course, for entertainment purposes only.
Oh, any bets at all? Any bets?
Yes.
I'm not taking liability for this.
Please believe that.
And then we swerve back over to Buffalo. Nice little bounce back against the Seahawks. That was yes, they were at home, and yes, they were on my parlay. Thank you, Steelers.
Nicely done.
But Josh Allen, specifically a nice bounce back for him in that game. And, Russ just really looked bad. Their defense gave him a lot of problems. Arizona's still a capable team. Yes, they're the home team here, so could be a better game than kind of a sneaky good game. I've kind of had that one just in the back of my mind. Like, this is sort of a good matchup. Something to look forward to in the afternoon. And the Rams also, if we just sort of staying in that NFC West, Seahawks need a rebound win. The Rams kind of at this point need a win just to prove that they're still legitimate.
Right.
So also a good game. Like I said, I'm kind of excited about this afternoon red zone.
Definitely. Yeah.
Hoping I can catch a lot of the afternoon games.
It's a good slate of games. Kind of the only two games in the afternoon that I don't think will be very good. One involves your team. I think they're going to get it done, but again, Raiders going to Raider. Then of course even though Cincinnati Pittsburgh actually might be a really good game because Burrow's been balling out. Pittsburgh doesn't like to blow teams out, as evidenced by last weekend, most of this year.
No, they do not.
San Francisco, New Orleans may not be that good. We don't know. New Orleans hasn't been very flashy, but San Francisco hasn't been very good lately. So it is definitely a good set of games. Definitely a good set of red zone games too. A lot of big players that I think are on a lot of people's rosters in the afternoon slate.
Yeah, honestly, in the 49ers Saints game, I could see the 49ers keeping that closer than it should be. Like if they flip to it on red zone late in the third quarter, you're like, oh man, it's only like a 7-point game. Like, well, it's kind of, you got to think the 49ers are it's Shanahan out there. They're going to have some kind of scheme. I think just the X factor is going to be Mullins at quarterback. They just don't have the horses right now. Like, still, all their team is hurt. There's no Kittle. Just, they don't have the marquee guys that they really need. But I could see that sneakily being close. I don't know what the line is on that, but potentially a cover for the 49ers. I don't know.
Sure.
I still don't think they're going to win, but
No.
if the line's 6.5 points or something like that, I might look at it.
Look into it, definitely. Yeah, and then, like I said, that final game, Cincinnati-Pittsburgh, Cincinnati is just playing for pride at this point in time. They've been pretty well out of it. Pittsburgh's still undefeated, so they obviously want to keep that going. Again, Pittsburgh this year, they're undefeated. They've only had one blowout win. That was against Cleveland. Everything else, every other game's been close, which, you got to give them credit for that, is they find a way to win those close games. They're the exact opposite of my Chargers. But, Cincinnati, Burrow's just been balling like crazy. So, he can definitely keep you in that game if you're Cincinnati. So that could be a fun game to watch as well. And then Sunday night, one of those games that at the start of the year, you kind of, circled on like, hey, this could be a pretty good game. Hasn't turned out that way.
And now, damn it.
Although, you know what? Maybe it will be a close game because Baltimore the last 2 weeks, their offense really has been rolling. So maybe it'll just be, it'll be a close game if Baltimore's just, not moving. But I think this is the game they need to kind of bounce back and be like, all right, like put themselves back up towards that top tier of teams. Like, we're not going to be contenders. This is the week to do it. Go into New England, a team that has just absolutely been struggling on both sides of the ball. I think this is kind of this should be a statement game for Baltimore.
They have to be looking at it that way. And on the flip side, New England is kind of like a must-win just to stay relevant this year. And, Belichick, he's always geeked up just to the challenge of going at an offense that's kind of unique like that. Lamar Jackson really has still been good. Not like at the MVP level of last year. But the thing that weirds me out with the Ravens is it seems like, I don't know, watching the games, like you still have Jackson that could just make anything happen at any time.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like other teams sort of aren't really surprised by what they do. That, like, I wouldn't say they know what's coming, but it's not like as dynamic as you think that would be. Like, sometimes they just sort of go into like these lulls of just like, up 3-0, or up, we're just punting from the middle of the field. Like, you would think they're just going to put up points, like. And they still have a good defense regardless, but it just hasn't really, like, gone over the top like this year where I thought, like, okay, the numbers that Lamar had last year, obviously everything's on tape now. You would expect that to come down a little bit, but he still hasn't looked bad. It's just like haven't been like the explosion of like big offensive output, like just a couple games here and there where it's like, oh man, they just went off. Like, it's weirdly like they should be wildly unpredictable, but sometimes they seem very predictable. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking about that a little bit earlier about how, they haven't had Mark Ingram for most of the year. He's aging, but he's still, solid. But they've had Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, who, both guys have had some good games, but nothing explosive, not like they have been the last 2 years where it just seems like this team is, between them and Lamar Jackson, they're running for 200 yards a game at ease.
Yeah.
You're right. I do think, maybe teams are kind of figuring out, like, I know 2 years ago when Lamar was first came to the league, when they got to the playoffs, the Chargers installed a defense that just completely shut them down in the playoffs.
They have 9 defensive backs on the field.
Yes. Then the next year, Lamar kind of opened up with the passing game and really, display that. So, yeah, it's been really weird with them this year. I don't know if it is just teams have just kind of figured them out or not. Like you said, Lamar's not been bad. Like, even when he's struggling throwing the ball, he'll, break out a crazy run and score a touchdown for it. Like, you can almost guarantee that. But, yeah, it's been a little bit weird for Baltimore. Kind of concerning midway through the year. But, again, if there's a game to get things back on track, this is the one to do it.
Yeah, and you got the national TV audience, so that would be a nice, like you said, statement for them. I think they're definitely going to be, up for it. So we'll see what happens there. But it could be sneakily close, like more than you think. So just kind of don't exactly know what you're going to get with Baltimore this year. Like, the record's good. I mean, obviously talented team, but just have that one, like blow out the Patriots by like 35 points. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like, this is
do it in New England too. Like,
right. So we'll see, but I mean, not the worst Sunday night matchup. I mean, that traditionally, since they brought in the Thursday game, has been the marquee game of the week.
mm-hmm.
On paper, you would think obviously Baltimore, but kind of like a show and prove for Baltimore too. So
Sure.
real
And
quick
then,
on the comments, shout out to Nick.
Yeah.
Hi, Nick. And Callan, the Bears.
Yeah, which I was just going to say, we got them on Monday night, the Bears taking on the Vikings. Interesting game, two teams that are kind of trending in opposite directions. The Bears started out hot, haven't been doing so good recently. Vikings, the exact opposite, started out terrible, and then Dalvin Cook started running for 800 yards and 6 touchdowns a game. I mean, it's obviously the interesting matchup of, the strong run game versus a strong defense. Opposite side of the field, Bears offense versus Viking defense. Resistible force versus movable object. I mean, again, that game could be fun for all the wrong reasons, but that'll be a good one to talk about on Monday.
Yeah, loving the rare busier afternoon on Red Zone.
Oh yeah, love it.
Morning. I mean, it's 5 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, so pretty well balanced. Like, you're gonna have cutaways, the classic quad box.
Mm-hmm.
Not really gonna have the octo box, which I love, but more than just normally you get to the afternoon on the West Coast, it's like, all right, we have 2 games going,
right,
and we're just gonna split between those 2. But no, you get a little nice balance there.
Yeah, and I think I saw on the schedule 3 of the games are 105 kickoff and 3 of them are 125. So even when those first games get into halftime, switch right over to the other ones, and then those go into halftime and switch back to the 105. So perfect setup for the Red Zone on Sunday.
Get your bets in, set your fantasy lineup, and just dig in and enjoy. You might still have time if you miss out on one of the morning games. You got all these afternoon games, so you could still plug a guy in.
That's right. All right. Well, I didn't really have anything else I wanted to go over today. Ronnie, do you have anything with the last couple minutes we got here?
No, just thanking you guys again for tuning in, spending your Friday with us. Thank you, as always, for the comments. Try to put together a little something. I don't know what really at all yet for the 100th episode on Monday, but make sure to tune in for that one. And you guys have a good weekend. Enjoy the Masters, football. Like I said, gamble to your heart's content.
That's right.
Somebody win out there. Shout out to my guy with all the directional Michigan schools. That's the win of the week for me right now.
That's great.
I'm so bitter after my parlay that I just want to see someone win. So if anyone out there bets and hits, send me your ticket or what you had, and we will celebrate it on this program.
But what if they bet on the Steelers? Do you want them to win?
No, I wish them ill. I hope they are just shut down for the rest of the season, and everything bad I hope happens to the Steelers and only the Steelers.
You wish all their hot tubs are cold.
Yeah. Why do you got shoes? I don't got shoes.
Why do you got a car? Why do you got 2 cars? I only got 1 car.
Hate.
But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, maybe we'll the 100th episode kind of stuck up on us, so maybe we'll try to put something together for Monday. We'll see, but definitely appreciate you guys always watching, leaving comments, asking questions, calling in, all that good stuff. So enjoy your weekend, have fun, stay safe, enjoy the sports while we still got it.
Again, big ups to Callan.
Big ups, Callan. Absolutely,
back on the horse, baby.
So happy that you're going back, working 2 of your 47 announcing jobs.
Almost back.
That's right. But stay safe, guys. Stick around. We got the book club for TV with Patrice coming up here next. We love you guys. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire. At the buzzer.